Back from vacation, and we got some breaking news to talk about as the New York Giants have signed veteran interior offensive lineman Greg Van Roten as training camp continues to roll on. We're going to break it down on today's show. The Giants have also released a cornerback on their roster to make room for Van Roten, and I am excited because nothing matters until the offensive line is fixed. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Art Stapleton on the news this morning saying, breaking, the Giants are signing offensive lineman Greg Van Roten. And the Giants, they actually worked out Greg Van Roten about a week ago. We told you he might be signed, and we told you, if the Giants make a move, we're going to get you guys the video. This is why you subscribe to the channel. No matter where we're at, no matter what we're doing, first day back from Mexico. When the Giants make a move, we're going to make a video. Free, informative, entertaining updates every single day. So if you love the Giants, smash that sub button. All righty, let's break down Van Roten, and then we're going to close the show talking about the cornerback the New York Giants have cut. Like we talked about last week and earlier today, the Giants did work him out. And when they did that, that was kind of the first really inkling that, okay, maybe the Giants aren't confident in where Evan Neal is going to be. Then Evan Neal was put on the PUP list. He has not participated yet at any of the 6 practices the Giants have had. We also have seen John Michael Schmitz miss a little bit of time at training camp. And Jermaine Illuminor has already made the switch from left guard to right tackle. Van Roten, though, he is entering his 10th season in the NFL, and he's bounced around the NFL. He's played with the Jets, he's played with the Panthers, but most recently he spent last season with the Las Vegas Raiders, and that was actually the best year of his career. He started all 17 games for the Raiders at right guard. He's got a great relationship with Jermaine Illuminor as well as Carmen Brasillo, the new Giants offensive line coach. And Van Roten, in multiple categories via Pro Football Focus, was ranked inside the top 10. The Giants had to go out and make this move. They were an injury away from being in a really, really bad spot on the offensive line. And I think that this gives us a peek behind the curtain of really the whole Evan Neal situation, because I think with Illuminor bouncing out to right tackle, he's there to stay. And with the addition of Van Roten, we're already seeing John Runyan work a little bit at the left guard spot at training camp. I could see the Giants starting offensive line week 1 be Andrew Thomas at left tackle, John Runyan at left guard, John Michael Schmitz at center, Greg Van Roten at right guard, and Jermaine Illuminor at right tackle. And that would be much improved. Van Roten was awesome last year for Las Vegas. He allowed just 5 sacks in 21 pressures, had a PFF grade of 75.3. And that is something that I feel like is going under the radar a little bit. He was 7th overall amongst all guards in the National Football League last year for his grade via Pro Football Focus, and he was 7th in pass blocking as well. He's a better pass blocker than run blocker, and that's an area the Giants absolutely had to improve in. Pro Football Focus says in his first season with Vegas, Van Roten produced a top 10 interior pass blocking grade of 77.4, the highest of his career. Across 626 pass sets, he earned a quality 98.1 pass blocking efficiency rating. And he had 4 games of a perfect 100% pass blocking efficiency. That's something that you got to add to this team. The Giants gave up 85 sacks last year, and they needed to improve there. And they went out and they did. And that's something I will applaud Joe Schoen for. I was calling for him to go out and do this when they worked him out. Van Roten was the 13th of 85 guards in pass blocking efficiency in 2023. He gave up 5 sacks, 3 hits, and 21 pressures. He had all of his snaps came at right guard in 2023, 55% at right guard in 2022, while 45% at center in 2022. And then in 2018, he played strictly left guard. This was a no-brainer. You're getting a guy that has a relationship with your offensive line coach. I'm sure Carmen Brasillo went out there and pushed for him to not just work him out, but end up signing him like he did. He could play left guard, he could play center, he could play right guard, and he's coming off arguably the best season of his career. We have more to talk about with Greg in a second, but I want you to get out your red pen and grade the signing. I know there are a lot of people that watch this show that are not thrilled with the offensive line. I know that we talk about every single signing. We try to see the light in all of them. I'm actually pumped up with this one. This is an A. This is an A signing for me. The contract details have not exactly come out. I would assume it's a 1-year veteran minimum deal for Van Roten. Maybe they go which would be $3.3 million. Maybe they go up to $4 million and they put some incentives in the contract so he can make some more money. But he is absolutely going to be a pivotal part to this team, and I could see him starting games. And the reason? Evan Neal is injured. And immediately when I saw the notification that Van Roten put pen to paper to join this football team, my brain went to, what does this mean for Evan Neal? He's on the PUP list. And Jermaine Illuminor is a better right tackle than him. And I know a lot of people are like, well, Marshall Evan Neal hasn't got to work with Carmen Brasil yet, so he's going to improve, right? How is he supposed to improve if he's not practicing? Gone through 6 training camp practices. Neal has not practiced. You don't just go to sleep and get better. I'm extremely worried. Look, I hope I'm wrong, but I fear the injury Evan Neal is dealing with is more serious than we are anticipating. One, because the New York Giants, led by head coach Brian Daboll, are very, very non-forward. They do not really give you the information you want to hear when they give injury reports. He was supposed to be ready for training camp. I told you that was not going to happen. He supposedly did not suffer a setback. We told you he did. He went from participating to not participating, then ready for training camp, then not ready for training camp. Something happened. He is hurt, and my hot take is he is never going to play on the offensive line for the New York Giants again unless there are injuries where he has to be put in there, because he will not start week 1. That'll be Jermaine Illuminor. More thoughts and talks on the offensive line as well as the corner that got cut. But first, I got to give a major shout out to my favorite sponsor here at Chat Sports. That's Game Time. Download the Game Time app, use the promo code Chat Sports, and for your first purchase, you get $20 off. Terms, they do apply. You get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. There's all these different ticketing apps out there. I've used them all. And then I got hooked up with Game Time last year when they first started sponsoring the show, and I haven't used a different app yet. I love that prices drop as the events get closer. They alert you when deals are the best that they are. Last-minute tickets and flash deals. The app is super user-friendly, and they show you a view from the seat that you are looking to purchase, and you get the lowest price guarantee. I'm trying to save a couple bucks. I know you are. Check out Game Time and use that promo code ChatSports for $20 off. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets, whether you want to go to MLB games this summer, you want to go to a Giants game coming up in August for the preseason, you want to catch the Knicks, the Nets, the Mets, so much more you could do. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring the show. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So you get a look at the offensive line and what it was supposed to be on paper. This is what you were supposed to have heading into week 1 of the NFL season with Andrew Thomas at left tackle, Jermaine Illuminor at left guard. Giants were working him there in off-season workouts. John Michael Schmitz at center, your new right guard and John Runyon, and Evan Neal at right tackle. But with Evan Neal out, you have moved Jermaine Illuminor to right tackle. And I could see the Giants moving John Runyon back to left guard and then putting Van Roten at the right guard position. It was Aaron Stinney who was your starting left guard prior to Van Roten showing up. That'll be a camp competition to watch. And my favorite thing is you've just got some depth. You got Stinney, you got Schlottman, you got Illuminor, you got Runyon, and then you add Greg Van Roten, and you still got Josh Azudu as your sling tackle, which is not something I'm in love with, but the Giants, they were one injury away from offensive line hell. And I don't think that they are necessarily in that spot again unless that injury comes to Andrew Thomas. Then you're in a bad spot. But I do like the moves they made, and I don't ever want to have to hear Joe Schoen say this again, what he said in Hard Knocks. Remember, he said, in Miami, we had 3 practice squad guys playing for us. You could have Pat Mahomes, and you can't effing win behind that. And hopefully with the additions of Schlottman and Stinney, and you brought in Runyon, you brought in Illuminor, and you brought in Van Roten, that's 5 different guys that have played at a serviceable level in this league before. That's more than the Giants had all of last year. I never want to see an offensive line like it was last year. That's why this signing made a whole bunch of sense, right? All the people in the world, like, they got to do it when they worked him out. They worked him out for a reason. We thought all along it would result in a signing, and the fact that it did, I love that. And the reason I do is because Joe Schoen doesn't have the excuse of injuries on the offensive line again. You've gone through not one, not two, but 3 off seasons as the general manager of this football team, meaning you have had 3 opportunities in the NFL draft, 3 opportunities in NFL free agency, 3 opportunities in the NFL waiver wire after rosters get cut down from 90 to 53 to build out this team. And if you didn't go out and sign Van Roten, you were an injury away from offensive line hell. And I didn't want to hear that you didn't have the depth because you didn't build that up. You did that this offseason, and you put the cherry on top by adding Greg Van Roten. What's your confidence level, though, in the Giants' offensive line? I want to hear from you in the comment section. Scale it from me 1 to 10. Yesterday, I told you mine would have probably been about a 3. I'm up to about a 6 at this point. We doubled overnight by adding Van Roten. Still don't love it. John Michael Schmitz needs to get better, but I do like the direction they are heading. With the Giants adding Van Roten to the squad, that means they had to clear out a roster spot. And I just want to say thank you to Aaron Robinson for everything he gave to the New York Giants. Unfortunately, injuries, I feel like, ripped a potentially solid NFL career out of his hands. He played really good in that Miami game back in 2022. He actually hasn't played since week 4 of 2022. He remains injured. He has not practiced since October of 2022. The injuries have just not been kind to him, and he's been unable to stay healthy. And to make it in the NFL, you got to be damn good at football, but you also got to be available. And unfortunately, he was not able to. Maybe the Giants go out and try to add another corner and then cut somebody else. A failed physical ends the career for the Giants with Aaron Robinson. Make sure you are following me over on social media. This is the first spot you would have heard about Van Roten signing with the Giants. Sorry for getting this video out a couple hours late. Got back in town yesterday and I had a doctor's appointment this morning. The first thing we did when we got in the studio was film this video. Subscribe, turn notifications on, and we'll have another one breaking down training camp coming up in a couple of hours.